Aha, it's Tuesday. I'm Ultra David.
And I am James Chen. How is everybody going?
We got a big show today. There's a lot of cool stuff to talk about. We'll be talking about NEC 15. We'll be talking about our picks for Capcom Cup. We'll talk about Guilty Gear Xrd, but we will start with the biggest news, which is that they nerfed trade routes in Civilization Beyond Earth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're way worse than they were before. Obviously, that was a huge part of the game.
That is
but
huge. Why would they do that?
You'll have to complete... Well, they were pretty OP.
Look, but still, I mean...
You know, it kind of nerfs diplomacy as a result, but, you know... is there really no sound? That would totally suck.
Just joking.
Okay, awesome. Well, the real news, of course, is that Street Fighter V has been announced. I didn't know that it was going to be announced, but but it was.
I'm surprised as much as anybody else. So, but yeah, big, huge announcement. Got leaked one day early, unfortunately for Capcom.
Definitely sucked for Capcom. I mean, I felt bad about it because when they ultimately did do the actual announcement, I thought it was really well done. Like, I really liked the video. It would have been in a cool setting for it. You know, when they were... So this was at the PlayStation Experience, right? And the presenter, when he started talking about Street Fighter, and they just showed the like Ultra stuff, everybody was like...
Come on, where's the 5?
Which would have been cool.
Right,
it was you know, USF4 on PS4, which is okay, cool. People were looking for that.
Right.
If that announcement hadn't been leaked, people would have been like, "All right, hey!" And then when the actual announcement came, people would have been like, "What?"
They would have just exploded. But
it was leaked.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, but really, the cool thing about it was after the trailer was officially released, the thing that wasn't leaked was a gameplay trailer that's on Capcom Fighters TV. So they actually showed... So the first trailer, which was also really cool because it was all about the community and the scene.
Right,
There was a lot of cool faces that we know showing up in that video.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
And it was really nice that they kind of geared the announcement trailer towards the community. I think that's sick. But then they released also a gameplay trailer because the previous trailer had like 3 seconds of footage or something like that, and then they released a gameplay footage, and that's where things started getting interesting.
Right, yeah. So what do you think about the footage so far? Well, there hasn't been a ton, and we haven't seen anything like life bars or any other bars or whatever. So, you know, when we look at it, we're kind of there. You have to guess a little bit. But
yeah, I have a lot of guesses. I've watched this trailer a bunch of times already. So,
yeah, I bet.
Well, do you want to show the trailer first?
Let's just show the trailer. Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Let's just show the trailer.
We shouldn't be getting DMCA notices for showing the trailer now. Should all be good now.
Hopefully.
Come
Yeah,
on,
exactly.
Twitch.
All right. Let's do this.
進むのみ。
私のクンフー見せてあげる。
波動拳。
百裂脚。
波動拳。
畳みかける。飛行艇。これで終わり。
ここからだ。昇竜拳制や。おや。拳人。波動拳。
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So what are your first impressions about it? I guess.
Well, hang on a second. Let me mute this really quick because I want to set it up again so we can watch it again.
Right.
But
So I guess for me, I'm a little, to be honest, a little bit disappointed in the graphical style because it's a lot like SF4. You know, it's maybe a little darker, at least on this stage. Ryu and Chun are a little bit more angular looking.
Right.
So I guess that's cool, but you know, they still went with the ink, and I don't know. Each Street Fighter game has been, graphically speaking, very different from the others. They've all been really unique.
Right.
And this doesn't look as unique as I guess I would have thought.
Right.
But on the other hand, I assume it's very early. I would think that it'll change. I guess they'll probably keep the ink thing. That seems like a weird thing to like start and then give up. But I'm sure it'll change graphically a lot. So
well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they tried the ink stuff in the last game, and maybe they just couldn't do it. And now that they can, they're kind of excited about it. Honestly, I think the game looks really beautiful.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, if you watch, like, once we go through slow motion, there's certain things to point out graphically that are just, like, it's pretty ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
However, the one thing about it, I think that's getting a lot of people... Because when you actually look at the models, it doesn't look that similar to Street Fighter 4. Like, they look a lot better, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think the reason why everyone is taken aback and kind of like... wait a second, is because they're using a lot of the same animations. Like when Chun-Li does her head stomps, all 3 head stomps are the same old animation. The spinning bird kick's the same animation. A lot of that is probably going to change because Ryu's moves look different.
That's true, they do. I have to say, I think they look kind of janky. Like
They do a little bit, yeah.
When he's doing like, when after the blow, like in the building. And he's like maybe linking or chaining, I don't know, like stand strong into crouching medium kick, I assume.
Right.
It's pretty weird looking. And crouching jab is like this weird little like.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll perfect the animation.
I'm sure it's super early, so I'm not too worried about that.
It's really interesting to me that Ryu has all new looking normal moves.
Right, he does.
But Chun-Li has all the same looking normal moves and stuff like that. So I have a feeling it's going to change a lot.
Yeah.
Right. The only new normal move Chun-Li seemed to have was her third strike standing roundhouse, right? So, but there's a lot of really cool things to notice about the graphics, and I don't know, like just the detail. Like I actually think Chun-Li looks more like Marvel Chun-Li.
Yeah, I think
the way that she poses and everything like that.
I agree with that.
She actually looks a little more like Marvel Chun-Li, but
right.
But I don't know. It looks really cool. The more I keep watching the trailer, the more I notice stuff, the more interested I get. Because right now, I'm going like full-blown conspiracy theory thought process right now on this game. Yeah, I have like weird ideas of what's going on in this game.
Okay.
Because it's, I don't know, there's just a few certain things that they didn't show and they do show that gets me interested. So, I don't know, do you want to go through the trailer bit by bit and talk about it? Or do you want to...
Let's do it.
Okay, all right. Let's do this. Let's do this. So here we go. We're just going to be watching this trailer here. Oh, wait a minute. I can do this awesomeness right here.
Oh, wow, dude, a quarter?
Yeah, a quarter.
All right,
speed
a quarter
here.
it is.
Yep.
We're going to see a lot of that Ryu ass coming up. Yeah.
We're definitely going to be going forward and back a lot. So, I wasn't planning to watch a lot of other people's analysis before watching this because I didn't want them to affect my thought processes. But I did end up watching on Martin's behest, I guess. He said I should watch Maximilian's first, right? So I can make a few comments on some stuff that he mentioned in there.
Cool. All right, well, there's Ryu.
But I mean, look at the detail look at the gi. Like, I don't know if they can see it on the stream, but like, there's just so much detail on there.
Yeah, there's definitely detail on there.
And yeah, he needs to wash that gi or at least get a new one. I mean, seriously.
And then Chun-Li.
But Chun-Li, I mean, look at the belt. Like, this is the first time I think that they've had that detail on the belt.
There's
like,
some detail for
I've
sure.
seen, and look at her bracelet, dude. Look how cool that looks.
Okay, there's some reflections on there.
Look how shiny that looks, dude.
It's shiny.
Really cool.
You're right.
But,
and then she goes whatever.
Dude, but this, like, look
There's
how
a little dance.
beautiful this animation is. I don't know. I'm impressed by it graphically right now. So it definitely looks nice. But when she finishes her pose here, this definitely looks very Marvel right there.
Yeah, I hear that.
All right, so
video games.
Round 1 fight, right?
So they're giant, right? Like, they're really big.
Yeah.
They're like Mortal Kombat 9 size.
So one thing I want to point out right away, just Max talked about this a little bit. He noticed that there's a player 1 and a player 2 above their heads.
Okay.
And he says that he doesn't remember any other Street Fighter having that.
I agree.
And he talked about a little bit about tagging or something potentially. Maybe there's a team battle or something like that. So you have to remember that Street Fighter 4 had this.
What?
The player 1 and player 2 above their heads. Because in the arcade, when you linked, You didn't know if you were player 1 or player 2.
You're right.
So they actually told you which one you were.
It did, yeah.
Right?
I forgot about that.
I have a funny feeling that's the same thing, right? So I'm pretty sure that's the exact same thing.
Okay, that would make sense. Because then it goes away after that.
Yeah, it goes away after
that makes
so
sense.
I think it's just right there at the beginning.
That plasma.
Yeah, the worst thing... Dude, okay, I'm just going to say this right now. This new generation of fighting games, I'm going to call it the generation of particle effects.
Yeah, particles.
Dude, they need to stop this, dude.
This and Killer Instinct, yeah.
Yeah. But also, what makes me angry right now is so far I haven't been able to tell if Chun-Li's a charge character or not.
Yeah.
I kept trying to see moments where she walked forward, but there was never any signs of that. But here she goes with the light kick and...
A little flip.
And see there, that already looks completely different.
Yeah, you mean the attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much more 3S looking.
Because, like, if you remember in Street Fighter 4, when he does this jump kick, he doesn't even look like he's looking at the enemy. He's, like, staring off into space. Like, next time you watch it, like, he just has this expression on his face, and it looks like he's staring off into the sky.
All right, we'll do.
So this actually looks nice. I actually like that jump roundhouse animation there.
You see there's a little bit of, like, deformation in the surrounding area when there's a block.
Yeah. But this is Chun-Li third strike crouch now.
Yeah, you're right.
This is her...
And look at Ryu's little jab.
Yeah, I think we missed it. Hang on,
Yeah.
let's go back. Yeah, look at that little...
That's so high. I feel like...
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like if Chun-Li did crouching medium kick, like, that jab would be nowhere in the ballpark.
Right?
Yeah. Or, like, when they finally reveal that 12 is in the game, he'll just be able to walk right underneath it. You're mad
I hate you
at
so
the
much.
idea of that. Yeah.
Look at this little, like, hit sparks, dude. I mean, seriously, particle effects. Particle effects all day. But here's this really cool
she
part.
reels back a lot.
This part is the one that I think looks really cool. It's not a generic reel. She got hit in the stomach, and she's doing a topple over animation here.
Okay.
Which is really cool. Then he shoryukens her. Boom. Her head locks onto his fist.
Okay. That's
so
cool.
that she gets the chin hit on the uppercut.
That's definitely cool.
So I think that they're gonna have more customized reel animations instead of the generic reel animations.
It'd be awesome if they did, yeah.
And I think that's really cool.
Sure.
I think that's really cool because it.
Oh yeah, you're right. It does totally lock on.
Yeah,
There,
see, it looks so much cooler that way. But then here we go. See, but then all of Chun-Li's animations, you notice they look exactly the same as before. But
in SF4.
Yeah, in SF4. So I just think that she's not quite developed yet.
That would make sense, I
obviously.
suppose.
But here we go. Just regular old fireball.
Regular fireball, yeah.
Gets hit.
Or water ball, as some areas say.
Okay, so this is one of the first
yeah, this is interesting.
questions.
Right,
here.
exactly.
But dude, look at all these explosions everywhere, dude. Oh, God. Okay.
There are some spots in the world that call it water ball, not fireball, because it's blue.
Really?
It's always been blue, with the exception of red fireball.
Right. Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so here's the first interesting thing, right? Is what is going on with Ryu here?
Right, it looks sort of like he's focusing, but then you'll see him get hit.
And he
and
doesn't
it's definitely
move.
not a focus.
He doesn't even move from this position. He's like frozen here. So I have no idea what's going on in this. Look at this. He's just standing there.
Right, yeah,
He's like,
what
hit
could
me,
this be?
Chun-Li. Yeah.
Like,
So-
did he like whiff a parry or something, and he's like locked there, or
Right.
Is there something else? And is it like a preemptive alpha counter or something? It's like a parry that only has some attack after it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
idea what
That's
that
like
is.
the one thing I have no guess on.
Yeah.
But then she does a nice little jump double hit here, and then her down forward short, right, which now launches, it looks like, and then she can jump cancel into same animation stomp, same animation stomp, same animation stomp. See, that's why I think a lot of people are kind of taken aback because they're like, I've seen this before.
Okay.
Who knows if they'll change the animation, right?
Right,
So,
sure.
But then, of course,
She takes him pretty high up.
yeah, and then she ends with crazy
Whatever
kick
is
move.
going on
Yeah,
there.
So this looks like it's just a new special move, right? Or something. So it could be a new special move.
It could be like a Marvel 3, like you just got a launcher and then like you end with S and like here's that animation.
Right. I mean, a lot of people are saying that the air combo system seems to be more developed in here.
Yeah, it does.
This is the only evidence, in my opinion, that it looks like it, and it just seems like a move with really good juggle at the end, you know?
It could.
So.
It could. Hard to know, of course.
But the cool thing about
And
it
then
is
he bounces.
It causes a ground bounce.
Yeah.
And then there's the third strike standing roundhouse right there.
Oh, is that what you think that is? You just think that's
Yeah.
Stan Roundhouse?
I think that's just I don't think this is an OTG.
Okay.
I do not think this
Play
is
it.
an OTG.
Play it again.
So if you just go back here, she lands and does third strike stand roundhouse. Boom.
Okay, yeah, I guess it does look like that.
Right.
But it has a much more pronounced white streak than the other buttons.
Yeah.
That's why it looked like something special to me.
Right. I agree, but I don't think it's an OTG.
Okay.
I just think it's a ground bounce and he gets hit, and then it might even be like a special ground bounce status, because when he gets hit, Ryu goes into twirly status.
Right.
And that usually indicates juggle over. Like in most of the Street Fighter games, once they start twirly animation.
In SF4, you can still juggle after that.
Not all the time.
Right? Can't you? I think you can.
So, yeah, actually, you're right. You can sometimes, but there are some cases where it won't. Like Ryu ground fireball, like for some reason, like if you hit him with the super, it kills like all of the juggle ability.
Yeah,
afterwards.
that's true. Yeah.
It's really strange, right? But yeah, there he goes, and he goes twirly status over here, hits the ground here. Okay, so here's...
Okay, yeah, this is it's something. This is something.
This is where things get interesting. This is where my theory starts going crazy. Okay, so we'll talk about my full theory at the end, but apparently Chun-Li is pure water bender status now, right? So you've never seen Avatar.
I know what it is.
Okay. But she's like water... So there's definitely an elemental factor in this game. She's charging up with water. Later on, Ryu charges up with lightning.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so
that
this
they
is,
were different.
So this is like some crazy little water thing going on here. And from this point forward, every clip, her bracelets are glowing.
Right. Yeah.
So her bracelets are glowing, and then she throws a fireball, and it's accompanied with crazy water, ice splats, and stuff like that.
And it's also two fireballs.
Right.
Whereas at the round start, it was just one.
Mm-hmm. So she gets two fireballs. She also gets two lightning kicks.
Right, yeah.
So it looks like her Hoyokusen super. But the thing about it is they don't show what happens afterwards. It looks like she's returning to neutral. It looks like after the second one, she's stopping.
Oh,
See,
it does look like that.
It doesn't look like she's going to kick again.
Okay.
So I think that's just an EX, like a special powered up.
EX or something? Yeah. Or just powered
kick.
up, yeah, okay.
Yeah, powered up lightning kick. And then she gets her powered up spinning bird kick.
Right. Because you see bird kick later. Oh, we already saw it. Yeah. And it was just regular looking bird kick.
Right. And then this is her super activation here, which is like the one unique animation that was added. So they probably just worked on her super here for this trailer here.
See, I don't really think that it's Hyokusen before, because this is that super.
Yeah,
this is definitely that super.
This is the super, but now they have cool, you're getting kicked by Chun-Li camera. But you notice, so here's the interesting thing about this when she activates the super, right? So let's go back here and watch this. She's still like in water bending mode, right? It's because she has all that crazy water going on over there. And then she kicks and she still has the water streak going here, right? So you notice that when she activates this mode, like all of the stuff that she does kind of ends up with these water effects everywhere. Like I pointed out this little splat there, right?
Right.
And then on the lightning kick here, you can see a lot of like little... actually, you can't, like right there behind her, you saw a little water thing here. But in the spinning bird
her bracelets
kick,
are still blue.
Right, and the spinning bird kick, instead of the black ink, she gets the water ink right here, right?
Well, she has both, I guess.
Oh yeah, you're right. The black ink is down there.
Yeah, but you're right. There's the special stuff.
But she still gets the water effects, and then of course when she activates her super.
Now, can you show that animation again? Does that animation track where her bracelets are?
Oh yeah, you can see. Yeah, it looks like they're coming off of her hands a little bit, but
it's definitely off of her hands. But I thought it might have been off her bracelet.
Okay.
I guess she was still in it. Like definitely, she doesn't have the glowy bracelets anymore.
Maybe when it activates, they just kill. See, well, this is part of my theory too.
Okay.
I'll
you're gonna expand on this.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But you can see she's still got the water streaks here, right?
Okay, sure.
So boom, you come here, and now you're getting kicked by Chun-Li in first-person style here, and then. Boom, it's a launch.
Right on the dome, too. Boom. That was pretty well targeted.
And she jump cancels that. If you watch it really slowly, you can see her go up in the air. It's really hard to see.
Yeah.
But she does like a jump fierce.
Yeah, jump fierce.
Right. And then this, I don't think this is a combo. I think that's just an edit.
Oh, do it again? You might be right about that.
I think that's just an edit. I don't actually think she's comboing in this situation here. So... Boom.
Oh, you're probably right.
Yeah, so I think that's just an edit, but this is just to show spinning bird kick into, hey, interesting stage interaction.
Yeah.
Boom. There we go.
And she comboed that from crouching medium kick.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So what's interesting about that now is that the stages might be shorter, but then can grow longer. So that you have 2 corners. I don't know. It's just like it changes.
Okay, that could be interesting.
Changes how things are kind of played in a little bit.
Like if you're Guile, you're not so worried about getting backed up to the corner in the first part.
Because then if you get hit, then you break the corner. Now you've got a little bit more stage. So
yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
It's gonna be. I'm wondering how that's gonna affect gameplay. You know, because like Zangief, you can't run from him a full screen anymore if that wall is still there, but if it breaks, then you have more screen to run around. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I definitely hear that.
But here we go. Boom! Ryu activates and now he has Thunder.
Okay, yeah, I didn't notice that it was Thunder before, but you're right.
Yeah, so he's lightning. And Denjin Hadouken has always been electrical.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Because when you get hit, you get the electrical effect, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So there he goes. Now,
interesting. I didn't notice that.
Now, if you look at Ryu most of the time, kind of like Chun-Li's bracelet, he always has electricity around his hands. So I think that this is just kind of like a status indicator.
Okay.
And when he's powered up, now his fireball is going to hit, boom, multiple times, right?
Oh, yeah, and a bunch of electricity.
Yeah,
okay.
and a bunch of electricity.
And by the way, is that now the corner?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think that's the corner now. Because she clearly gets... You know, she would move backwards, presumably.
Oh, you're right. Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, so maybe after she knocks him into the room, they have like a canned animation where they walk forward into the room.
Just a new stage?
Yeah, and then it transitions to another portion of the stage.
That actually maybe kind of sucks, though, because if you're Chun-Li and you knock Ryu into the new stage, now you're cornered.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
this is kind of interesting.
Dude. All right.
But you're right. She didn't go anywhere. I did not pick... That's really cool. But here we go. Ryu with the ink. You see the electricity on his hands again.
I mean, yeah, people are saying it could have been that Ryu was full screen and so she couldn't move backwards at all.
That's true.
Hard to know, yeah.
That's true. Okay. So there we go. So now all of a sudden in charged up mode, his hurricane is like the EX hurricane. Yeah. Full of ink and electricity on his arms. Now here's the really interesting clip here where she's blocking moves.
Right, yeah. And it goes ding.
And the second hit of the fireball causes her to go into this
ding
guard break.
It definitely looks like a guard break.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a guard break. Now, what I'm going to guess here, so I'm going to jump ahead a little bit in thought process.
Okay,
he has a Denjin Hadouken, right?
Yes.
Obviously, Denjin in Third Strike was unblockable.
Right.
Right? So you could mitigate that with parries.
Yeah.
I don't think they're putting parries in this game. I am almost positive they're not putting parries into this game, right? I mean, that's just my feeling. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
So what I'm going to guess now is that Denjin Hadouken will kill your guard meter like nobody's business.
Right.
And also, when Ryu is powered up, he will break guard very heavily. And so that's why this EX Fireball breaks her guard, because it gets a jump fierce, a stand fierce, EX Fireball, guard break.
Okay.
So I'm just going to assume that Ryu, when electrified, all of a sudden has massive guard break abilities.
Okay, I guess that's reasonable.
And then my... Dude,
ding! Yeah, she reels back quite nicely.
I'm going to go back to this. Dude, look at the lighting on that. Dude, the lighting on that is ridiculous.
Her movement's really good, too.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's very nice.
But now here's an interesting part. So I'm going to guess that they are scared of guard breaks being too powerful.
Okay.
So we've already seen EX Hurricane charge up, EX Fireball charge... I'm sorry, Electric mode, Thunder Ryu mode, Fireball. So I think his uppercut just turns into a Shinshoryuken. His uppercut just naturally becomes a Shinsho, right?
Okay.
However, when they get guard broken, I'm going to guess that the first hit may keep them grounded, but every other hit pops them up into the air to prevent long combos off of guard breaks.
Oh, yeah?
So the reason why I predict this is because he does low forward.
Okay.
And what I think he's doing is just uppercut.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, the uppercut pops her into the air.
Right.
Which to me seems weird because Shinsho never pops them up to the air for a juggle. You hit them, make their chin come down, and you get to uppercut their chin. Right?
Well, I mean, keep playing it because he definitely goes up there for the DP.
Right, he goes up for the DP, but it doesn't look quite like the Shinsho.
No, it doesn't look the same, yeah.
Right, so what I'm thinking is that the forward kick kept her grounded, but then the uppercut just pops her into the air, and then the Shinsho finishes. But if he had Shinsho'd her on the ground, she would have stayed on the floor and gotten hit by both hits on the ground.
I don't know, I think that's a little bit too speculative.
Wait till I get started.
Okay.
Wait, where was I? Australia. Oh, yes. Okay. So here we go. Uppercuts are out of the air, but still inky. So I still believe that this is Thunder Ryu uppercut, even though I can't see the electricity on his fists as much here.
It's very inky for sure.
Right, but very inky. Now here's
he still has the lightning on his fists. Yeah.
So this is where he does some crazy combo.
It looks to me like Link's because it seems to me like he recovers from that. What I expect is stand strong.
So looks like jump fierce, close strong, maybe.
Yeah, it could be close strong. It could even let's see.
And then
just let him do it. Actually, might be even like close strong fierce.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Could be.
Go back. Do it again. It does look kind of like close strong fierce to me.
Fierce. Oh yeah, it could be like a strong.
But then look, it looks like he goes into neutral position.
Yeah, that's definitely
a link, I think. Yeah. But the thing before that looked like more like a chain to me.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think you're right. So let's see. Boom. Strong. Yeah.
Oh no! It cuts. It cuts.
Right, it does cut, but it looks like
might not even be the same thing.
It looks like Ryu does keep position where he holds position where it cuts. So like he's looking like this, right? And then see how it looks like it animates normally.
Okay, yeah, I suppose.
Like I almost want someone to shrink that footage and put it on top of the other one. It looks like it might animate smoothly here. So boom, and then yeah, you're right. Link into low forward. I don't know if electricity gives him a longer hit stun or something like that. Oh, that'd be crazy. But then of course he goes into a super, which turns out to be the Denjin, not the Shinku, because he says Denjin.
Yeah. So I don't think it's the same Denjin.
Look at these teeth, man. Look at these teeth. He's angry.
He's definitely angry.
He's so angry.
Yeah. So he's comboing into Denjin. In Third Strike, you could do it, but it sucked.
Right.
You only got one hit. And so nobody ever did it. But in this one, they're at least implying that crouching medium kick into Denjin Hadoken is like a combo. It's like something that you would do. So I don't know if it's the same Denjin because, in previous Denjins, even for Goken, you had to charge it.
What do you think this logo, by the way?
It reminds me of TMNT, I guess.
All right, okay.
But yeah, I feel like that's maybe not the same Denjin just because it looks like the usage, at least in that clip, and all of this could be total nonsense and changed, but at least there it looks like the use is different. Right.
Well, see, my theory is that because there's no parry, there's no reason to hold it and change the timing and charge up and do those kind of things.
But guard break could be presumably a big deal.
Right.
So it seems like it'd be bad policy to let Ryu do like
low forward
jump forward, close, strong, fierce into Denjin. That seems like it could like take off a lot of guard bar and be dangerous. So I don't know.
Well, okay, so
it's a block string.
Here's my thing, right? Okay, so let me go into conspiracy theory mode.
All right, go nuts.
Let's just do this.
All right, what do you got for me, James?
I think that instead of Ultra and instead of a super meter, there's some sort of power-up system.
Okay,
right?
It looks like there's a power-up system.
Right, so it looks like a power-up system. Now, what I'm going to guess is that there's no more EX moves. That when you power up, all your moves just become the EX version. Because they just looks like they just do so. So what I'm assuming is that you power up and a meter shows up and starts draining.
Yeah, that's what I would think
going down. When you use special moves, they're automatically EX'd and maybe drains a little bit of that meter faster. But if you use the super, it immediately drains it. It ends your mode.
Like Under Night.
Yeah, kind of like Under Night, right? So that's why when Chun-Li did the super, her bracelets aren't glowing anymore. Because she leaves the status because you activate the super, right?
What did Denjin have glowy gloves?
You can't tell.
Can't really see it.
His hands are all fireballed out, right? So here's the thing. Maybe they don't have a system where you're building super meter. Maybe they'll do it so that like once around you can use this special mode or something like that.
That would be quite a departure.
Yeah, it would be changed. But the reason why I think that this kind of works is because now if you think about what I said and you think about how cheap it would be for Ryu to be able to do low forward Denjin and guard break you, if you time it wrong, it'll go boom, 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 guard break, and a couple of fireballs hit you, which would suck for Ryu, right? Okay. But if he times it right, and he breaks the guard with the last hit, he's out of Thunder mode, who knows how long they're going to be guard broken for, and he has no real special... If he has no meter, then he can't really do any damage. Right?
Well, maybe not. I don't think we can know how much damage he could do in that situation.
Right. But okay. I'm thinking that they might forego a super meter. They might just do it, or maybe one super meter that just builds up that lets you activate mode. Because the thing about it is...
Oh, it's end group, basically.
Right.
What you're saying. Okay.
There's no footage of a character using an EX-like move without having activated that mode.
Okay.
Chun-Li activates the mode, they show 3 EX moves.
Okay.
Ryu activates the mode, they show 3 EX moves. But previous to that, they never show anything that's non-EX.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
I mean, I don't know if EX is the right word. It could be that there are EXs still, but that there's just some change to the special moves when you go into this power up. They could just be power up move,
right?
Like the move powered up. Maybe there's also an EX.
Yeah, I mean, it's just interesting because with Chun-Li and the spin kick and Ryu and the spin kick, they just look like the EX versions, right? So from Street Fighter 4. So if there was an EX version, I wonder what they would do with that. You know, like how it would be different and stuff like that.
You're right, yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, so basically, I'm just like thinking that they might actually completely try to change the meter system.
Okay, I would love it if there were some very significant changes like that. That'd be great.
And I think it would be really cool to have it that way, even if it was in like an ultra or like instinct mode in Killer Instinct. You take damage and then you can power it up, and then you can activate. So instead of an ultra combo, you get access to this mode that lasts only a certain amount of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So, I hope that they sort of forego those like ideas of like that revenge stuff. Yeah. That said, I don't expect it because it seems like every game has that. Yeah. Like every game, almost. So,
I mean, it's. Look, I know a lot of people hate comeback factor.
Yeah.
Right, but comeback factor makes games hype. It's as an audience mechanic. I mean, tragic.
I hear ya.
Shout outs to Ben Curitin. One time, I think it was 2 years ago when we were on stage at Evo. And Tragic just looked at it was like me and Wizard, and he was like, X Factor, best audience mechanic, worst player mechanic.
Yeah.
Right. And the hardest part about these fighting games these days, I mean, you saw Capcom Cup banners in the background and stuff like that. If they're really trying hard to promote the tournament scene, they have to think hard and long about the audience factor.
That's true.
I really hope
that's true.
I really hope they focus on that, because if they only focus on making super solid gameplay and stuff like that, it's just it won't be as successful as a tournament viewing kind of game. And it's blasphemy, I know, to have that come from me, but
I understand. Yeah, there's it's a business and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when it comes to these like elemental things, see, I guess I'm not sure that I want to say that that's elemental stuff.
Right.
Hard to know if it's water with Chun-Li. Could just be like blue zippy stuff.
Right.
Like Ryu throws like the same looking stuff.
In
fireballs. And it would be weird to me if Ryu had the electricity and Blanca did not.
Oh yeah. Well, it might not be unique. You know?
It might not be unique, and Blanca might not be in the game.
Fair enough. But like Max,
I hope Blanca's not in the game.
Max said one thing that was actually really cool was that Ken would probably be fire.
Ken probably would be fire.
Right.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
I mean, yeah. If there's repeats, like if they have Ken and Dawson, probably they're both fire stuff. Stuff like that.
That's true. That's true. Dude, can you imagine flaming arms? Dude, that'd be sick.
Oh yeah, a good Dawson. Yeah, why not?
I mean, it would be cool if they even went crazy. Like, what if Zangief, his element was stone? Like, he just turns into a rock. Or he could even be metal. He just turns into metal Geef.
Yeah, he should be metal. He's metal.
A metal bender.
If there's Zangief.
Yeah,
I hope there's not Zangief.
Dude, I hope there's Zangief.
Really?
Yeah.
I hope there's not.
I think... Okay, yeah, so that's a great question.
Yeah.
What do you feel about cast?
Yeah.
What would you like to see in the cast?
What I would like to see is the characters that are necessary for fandom. I don't think Geef or Dawson, even though those are my two favorite SF2 characters. Well, maybe Honda. Anyway, I don't any of those three. I don't feel like those three are necessary to pick up like the casual fans. I don't think that many people are going to be like, "Is Dawson in there?" And I just Ryu, Ken, Chun. I understand those. Maybe Guile, maybe a couple more characters. Past that, I hope that it is nobody except for new characters and unused characters. I just want new stuff.
Okay.
So that way, like, you're bringing in people who care about the characters that they used in 91.
Right.
And you're also making it an original experience so that when you start playing the game, you know, it can be like this sort of DiCaprio situation like right now where different people are doing different things, and it's going to be very interesting because you don't know how to play her really.
Yeah. I disagree with that.
Yeah,
like,
I figured. But I would love to see, even if they are not called Q.
Yeah. Have someone who plays like him.
If there is a Necro, if there is some character like that who is the Dhalsim / Necro, but he can also corner you, you know, zoner and also corner, that'd be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
If there was a turtle grappler again, I would love that because that's such a rare archetype. Only a couple characters in a couple of games have defensive grappler like Q did.
Right.
So I'd love to see those. 12, the same thing. I'd love for there to be a guy who flew around. Like, he can have, like, he can be Superman. I don't care. He can have a cape, and he flies around, and who cares? I just want to have...
And a 2-frame super.
Whatever. No, I just want that sort of style, because those are unique styles that didn't get explored that much, and I would like to see Capcom explore that more.
So I would like to see kind of like a half and half. Like, half new characters and half returning characters. The reason why you need returning characters... I don't know if you saw this video. There was a video where someone, when Smash came out, someone took a book and had pictures of all the characters and went up to random strangers like, who's this character? Who's this character?
I've seen that sort of stuff, sure.
Right? And, you know, they can name Mario, everyone can name Pikachu, whatever like that. So Street Fighter is a brand.
I agree, and they should have those characters.
Right.
I agree.
So they need to have the characters that are recognized in there.
I agree.
So that when someone watches it, they know exactly. Because let's face it, when Street Fighter 3 first came out, the new characters weren't that hot. Like, people didn't...
I mean, I knew a lot of people did not like them.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely understand.
It took until Third Strike before people finally grew on them.
Yeah.
And that was like 4 years or something like that. You know what I mean?
I get it.
So I think the way, if they can do it so that they have... it would be cool if they brought in characters that haven't been back and forth. Like if they put in Eagle... Or if
Eagle
they
would
put
be cool.
in, like, Geki.
Sure.
Or Birdie or
Yeah,
something
Birdie,
like that. You know, if they started bringing in some of those other characters, you know, it'd be really cool. But I still think that they need to have a good share of the original cast, especially at least the original 8. Like, I feel like the original 8 gotta come back because they're the original 8.
I guess. I just don't want to... I don't feel like I need to play Zangief again. I've played Zangief in... I don't even know how many games.
Right.
I don't know. 10, a dozen?
Yeah.
It's just, it feels like it's, like I've done it too many times. And even if other characters are similar, like Hugo is similar, etc., I just want some interesting change. I guess, look, I guess if they call it Zangief and, like, he's Birdie really in gameplay, I guess that's fine. Right. I just want something that's different.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that little elemental mechanic might change a few things up or whatever like that, right? But, I mean, the other thing, too, is just to look at a lot of the other fighting game series, right? Most of them maintain the old characters, right? Yeah. Like, Guilty Gear Xrd came out, and all you do is hear about people crying about Johnny and Biken and Bridget and Zappa and Dizzy and stuff like that, right? And, you know, Mark of the Wolves, like... Now people like it, but you know, when it came out, everyone was like, "Who the hell are these people?" Right? And meanwhile, you look at something like Virtua Fighter, same cast the whole time. Blaze Blues, like the same cast. They just keep adding. They just keep adding new characters and stuff. So most of them are just adding new characters. And then, like, when you even have KOF, where you take away a couple of teams, you always have the Dream Match ones where you bring a lot of the old teams back, and then everyone's excited again. Just nostalgia is just, like, the craziest drug, man. Like,
you know, I guess what I want to avoid is having too many characters. I don't like it. I mean, as heavily as I am into fighting games, I think it's dumb that there are 44 characters in SF4. Yeah. Tekken 6 had like 85 characters. I have no idea. Like it's just
Smash has 49.
Smash has 1 million. Marvel has 1 million. KOF has 1 million. It's an impediment to me even.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, let alone to somebody who is new to fighting games or hasn't played fighting games in a long time. I don't want them to have to deal with 800 characters. So I would rather it be that there are like 15 to 20, something like that. If they want to expand on that later, okay, but I just, like SF4 Vanilla in the arcade had 17 characters.
Dude, that's one of my favorite things about Uniel, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I love that about
It's like every time I play that game and then I fight a character I don't know how to play and then I figure out how they play so I can fight them, I actually feel like I've made progress. Whereas, like, with other games, you learn how to fight one character, you're like, well, I was 1 of 44.
Right, yeah, 42 to go. Yeah,
exactly. So
I totally agree.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree. I have a funny feeling it can't start with more than like 16 or 20 characters. But if that's the case, I would like half of them to be comebacks and half of them to be, new characters.
I'm fine with that ratio, I guess.
Yeah.
That's cool with me.
I mean, honestly, if they had like 16 characters, let's just theorize 16 characters. Like, I would like the original 8, right? And then 4 brand new characters, just like Street Fighter 4. And then maybe 4 returning characters from previous games that never got a chance to shine, like Geki or something like that.
Yeah.
Or bring back Alex, for example.
Yeah, Alex. Yeah.
Alex would be cool to have.
Yeah,
Dude,
Alex is a fan favorite.
He would look so sick in this graphic engine. He would look really cool, actually.
Well, I think a lot of characters would.
Yeah, I would like to see Alex back. So.
Yeah, that would be nice. I'd be cool with that.
Mika?
Mika would be fine. That seems really unlikely, but that seems
really
like at least as unlikely as like a Q or 12.
Yeah,
so.
or Guile now with the high and low sonic boom.
Why not? Why don't you just give Guile all of Remy's moves? Why not?
Because Remy's so stupid.
Okay, if you don't like the character, that's fine. But why not give him? It's interesting to have two sonic booms.
Yeah.
I mean, why is that stupid? That's not like
no,
surely
that's not stupid. That's not stupid. Yeah, I agree.
I always thought that was interesting.
You know what? I've always was really sad about Guile that he lost. I think I've mentioned this on stream before, was that one of his gimmicks was that he had like the strong back. He did the backbreaker in the air, he blocks with his back.
Yeah.
I would like to see them kind of bring some, like I would always pictured if they put him in Third Strike that he would have this like one of his supers, like he would like punch you in the stomach and flash kick you into the sky and you would spin and then he would just stand there and you just like boom onto his back and then he'd just like crack his neck and then the guy would just fall off or something. That would be so sick. That would be sick.
That would be cool. What if it's Charlie instead?
Charlie? He's dead, dude. Come on. The Street Fighter storyline is so important. Game to game. They have maintained consistency.
It's still going down.
Dude, even the microphone fell. Dude,
that was the mic. That probably sucked for everybody's ears.
Yeah,
Heads up.
The microphone was
mute.
The microphone was probably like F you. Man.
Well, hopefully I got some people to mute.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, what about Gouken? He came back to life, or who knows, whatever.
Dude, anything. Dude, Chun-Li's dad is going to show up in there, and he's going to be like 90 years old or something like that, dude.
Right.
I mean, seriously.
What do you think about, speaking of story, I guess, while we're on it, it seems like maybe it's like Third Strike-ish period of time, just because Ryu has Denjin, and
Chun-Li has
Chun-Li has crouching medium kick looking.
And the way she crouches and everything, even stand around house.
House.
I mean, it could take place past Street Fighter 3 or whatever like that, but
before SF4.
They don't look older, or no, Street Fighter 4 takes place before Street Fighter 3.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Street Fighter 4 canonically takes place beforehand because...
What is it, like Alpha, then 4 or something?
No, it's Alpha, then 2.
Then 2.
Then 4, then 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because you can tell...
3 is the last?
Yeah, you can tell everything in 4 is leading up to 3 because slowly they're learning the moves and then like... I mean, obviously, what do you call it? Seth looks like Urien and Gil or whatever. Like, I just have this funny feeling that it just kind of goes into that direction, right? Because their focus attack is like the crush charge and stuff like that. And
they definitely look like Urien.
Roundhouse looks the same and stuff like that. And Bison disappears, so, like, Bison's not in 3 at all. So I assume that story arc is finished or whatever like that. So
Okay.
But the thing about it is, like, if 5 does take place after 3, For one thing, it means 6 would take place before 5. But
6?
Yeah, Street Fighter 6. Because so far it's 2, Alpha, 3, 4. They keep going forward and then back, forward and back and forward. But no. But I mean,
where did EX fit in, or was it even in there?
Dude,
it's not canon.
That doesn't count.
It's not canon.
That doesn't
okay.
count. Yeah, but I mean, if they did Street Fighter 5 after 3, the interesting thing is that Ryu doesn't look that old. Chun-Li doesn't look that old in those clips, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if they're planning to do that. So.
Okay. What about business model? I've heard people talking about this. Would you be cool if it went with
like
the Killer Instinct
like the
approach?
Free-to-play and stuff.
Yeah,
like
Killer
that?
Instinct has free character on rotation, but you can buy all the characters if you want. You can buy seasons of it where you get all the seasons characters.
See, the biggest concern I have about that is I just don't feel like it works when in fighting games as well if a game starts with like 16 characters.
Because, you mean that's too few?
Yeah, it's too few. Because the nice thing about League of Legends, they have 5 characters free at a time, so you can kind of like play around with it. No matter when you go and play the game, it feels like you have a choice. The problem with Killer Instinct right now is like if you're interested in like 3 or 4 of the characters, and currently the free character of the month is Glacius, and you're like, I am not interested in Glacius. It just doesn't work, right? But if you have 3 characters free at the same time with like 16 total characters, and they rotate like every week or every other week, it's like...
That sounds bad? I don't know.
No, it sounds great for the person, but terrible for Capcom.
Why?
Because who's going to buy it? Because you just don't have to wait that long for it to cycle back again to the character that you like. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's a good business model for them. I don't know how much money they'd get out of that. So
it's like every 8 weeks you'd be doing a new set of characters, basically. Or you'd be doing a new rotation of characters.
Well,
it's every couple of months, if it's 2.
If it's 2.
Yeah.
Oh, if it's 2, and then if 2 free characters once a week? Yeah, it would be 2 months.
I mean, it's still a couple of months that you have to wait.
So that's good. I guess that's true. Yeah. I don't know.
I think that's cool. I kind of like it for KI. I agree that it'd be nice if there were more than a couple of characters going on at a time. It'd be nice if that was a smaller percentage of the cast.
Yeah.
But I would rather there be fewer overall characters than have that issue. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not that I want to have as few as KI launched with or as like Skullgirls launched with, just 8 or fewer. I would like to have more than that, but I like the idea of the free to play thing. I don't. It doesn't need to be like League where you buy better play like with League. It can be like Dota where it's a different story where it's more about cosmetic stuff. And there's still plenty of money going into that thing.
Yeah, and also a lot of people I hope they sell it normally. Dude, they 100% can sell it normally. In fact, Killer Instinct.
That's what Killer Instinct does.
Yeah, Killer Instinct has just a version where you can just buy it like a game and you get the whole thing. I can imagine Street Fighter 5 will be sold in stores as well. Just gives you the whole thing, right? And then also the free to play model and stuff like that. So
yeah. What about the console exclusivity? It's only on PlayStation 4 and PC. It's on both of those.
Right.
It sounded like Sony had a lot to do with the development of the game. Like they're involved in the development part of it, not just the producing it or whatever. So I guess that makes sense. I also saw an interview with somebody from Xbox who said that in response to the fact that it's not going to be on Xbox One, that they would rather support their own first-party major fighting game, which is KI.
Interesting. Okay.
So I don't know if that's just them sort of saving face or what, but
I mean, it sucks, but if a company is helping produce it, right? It's like all the people getting mad at Bayonetta 2 being on Wii U, right? I mean, Nintendo is paying for it. If Nintendo didn't pay for it, there wouldn't be a Bayonetta 2, right? So I don't know how much Sony is having a hand in this, and it does kind of suck for the whole console war thing because now it's like, if you have an event that has Killer Instinct and Street Fighter, you got to buy both consoles. If you want to enter both, you got to have a stick for both. That kind of thing. It's annoying logistically, but. I mean, who knows? If it's on PC, it might not make a difference in the long run.
Yeah, we'll see. People tried out PC for SF4 for Ultra and AE 2012. Wednesday Night Fights did that. A couple other people did too. And it just didn't work that great, even though they were on mostly the same machines. Identical machines. Not entirely, but mostly. People still said that they saw that there were some differences.
And I think the reason for that is because it's still a port, right? It's still being ported to the PC. If this is known ahead of time and they're developing them at the same time, I'm sure the differences will be mitigated a little bit. So
Right. I mean, when it comes to competitive play, I guess I don't think that it matters that much to have a game be console exclusive. Especially, it sounds like it's not going to be out for a long time. By the time this game comes out, I feel like more people will have PS4s and or Xbox Ones anyway. So, but we tend to just pick we pick a console. It's just sort of just like a hive mind thing. But we tend to just pick consoles over time. With Capcom games lately, it's been Xbox, and with Tekken, it's been PlayStation. And that sort of stuff happens. And once it does, if you're interested in playing competitively, then you just get whatever version people agree on. It's
really funny. I feel like the fighting game community flows with like the general flow of the gaming industry in terms of console, because 2 generations ago, PlayStation 2 was way better than everything. So everyone was on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, the Xbox 3, like the PS3 initial launch announcement, they had the giant enemy crab and the weak point, and like, oh, if you want to afford a PlayStation 3, get 2 jobs, that kind of stuff. And they just totally messed themselves up. And then so everyone was like pro Xbox, and then the fighting game went Xbox because it was better.
Yeah.
And then this one, Xbox screwed up their launch, and PlayStation was all good, and now everyone's returning to PlayStation.
I mean, it's not just because of that. It's because the Capcom games have slowed down, and like NRS games have slowed down on PlayStation. So there are reasons, but
for sure.
But I hope that you're right that having it be on PC will mean that it's still accessible to people, because most people have computers. Hopefully, it won't be super intensive.
I mean, it looks amazing.
It looks pretty intensive. But
we'll see. There's probably going to be a lot of options to really cut the graphics down to make it play normally.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, hopefully they can develop it properly on PC, because, like you said, Ultra on PC is not. I mean, you set one graphic mode, and all of a sudden you get combos that don't normally work, right? It's like, come on.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
But no.
And cross-platform fighting is a thing. That's pretty great.
That's
I like that a lot.
That's huge.
It really helps the community.
Yeah. It's really funny because, like, if it's on PC, technically it's on Microsoft product.
Except when they announce that it's actually on SteamOS.
That'd be sick if it was on SteamOS, actually. So that'd be cool.
It's not happening.
I'm sure you agree with that one, right? Bring back Volcanic Rim.
Oh yeah, they should bring back some troll stages.
Can you imagine like PlayStation 4 graphic quality Volcanic Rim? Do you know how many splatters of lava they could produce in the background, dude?
How many high-pitched guitar riffs could they fit in per second? Yeah, it'd be like worse than Guilty Gear.
You know what I'd want them to do if they brought back Volcanic Rim and they did that music, right? You hear that, and then in the background someone should walk on with the guitar, like shredding. Dude, that'd be hilarious, dude. That'd be hilarious. Oh, man. Okay.
Well, anything else to say about
Street Fighter 5
it's been a long time. Yeah, it has been a long time.
It's going to be a long episode today, so just so you guys know, because we have a lot to talk about.
We're basically going to go way over.
Yeah, we're going to go way over, so. Okay.
All right. Anything else on SF5?
It's going to be, the first live match is going to be this weekend.
Yeah, if you're interested in SF5, watch the Capcom Cup this coming weekend. It will be played live there. I hope that we'll get some actual info rather than just being like, here's the gameplay, figure it out, but I don't know, we'll see.
That's probably what's going to happen.
You just didn't just be like, here it is?
Well, because look, let's face it, the game is in so much early development.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Anything that they say, if people take the gospel, it's bad, right? So if they just show you stuff and then be like, oh, everyone speculates or whatever like that, and then they change everything in the future, then
you're right.
That
is definitely
they're
smarter.
not committing to anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Okay, all right. Well, let's take a break. When we come back, we will talk about tournament results, a.k.a. NEC 15 and Topanga League!
Topanga League! Oh, shout outs to Papa Chihuahua, dude. He's the best.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit.
Okay, be right back.